We start the film in a forest where a father and his young son are hunting. The father has just shot a deer and hands a knife to the son, telling him to skin it. But the boy is completely terrified and can't move. Instead of calming him, the father becomes very frustrated and starts yelling. Fast forward a few years, this is when the real story begins. We meet Olivia and Reed, a completely in-love couple about to have a baby. Reed pops the question, and Olivia joyfully replies yes, making them very happy. To celebrate their engagement, they throw a party at Reed's parents' cozy home in the woods. The atmosphere is really lively. Friends and family are all here, and it seems everyone is genuinely happy for them. Reed is busy taking pictures all night, especially capturing moments of Olivia with her friends. Everything looks great on the outside, but there is a deeper issue looming over this happiness. Reed hasn't spoken to his father in years. It's not very clear why, but there is definitely some tension between them. Even with the silence, it's obvious that Reed's father cares about him. As he prepares to travel, his father says he has loaded the car with essentials: food, gas, extra clothes, and even some weapons. Reed doesn't understand why all this is necessary since it's just a quick trip, but his father is firm, reminding him that the road can be quite unpredictable. Before they say goodbye, his father brings up Reed's plans to marry Olivia, asking if he is really ready for that and if he has gotten over his past. The conversation heats up, but just before it turns into a fight, Olivia shows up and they leave. Little do they know, things are about to get really dark and dangerous. As they drive, the tension in the car is palpable. Olivia does her best to calm Reed down, telling him to keep his eyes on the future instead of getting stuck in the past. Suddenly, a car appears out of nowhere, and Reed has to swerve to avoid a collision. This really shakes them up, especially since Olivia is pregnant. After the scare, they realize they took a wrong turn. Now, Reed prefers one route, but Olivia chooses the other, mentioning there is a gas station that way. Reluctantly, Reed agrees to follow her lead. Unbeknownst to them, this path will not lead them home. It will take them straight into a nightmare. They stop at a rundown gas station that looks almost abandoned at first glance. Olivia needs to use the bathroom, so they go into the small store. Inside, they find an old man completely inert behind the counter. Despite their efforts to wake him, he doesn't move. An uncomfortable feeling fills the air. Suddenly, a strange woman appears, unpleasant and intimidating. She demands to know who they are and why they are disturbing her husband. The couple explains the situation. They are lost, and Olivia urgently needs a bathroom. They also ask if she could provide a map. Instead of helping right away, the woman laughs. She approaches the man and speaks to him as if they aren't there. Her tone carries an unsettling calm, and she makes a chilling comment. "People who end up here always lose their way." Her words unsettle the couple, especially since the old man still hasn't moved or spoken. Eventually, she hands Olivia the bathroom key. As Olivia walks away, the woman turns to Reed and starts explaining a shortcut through the woods, claiming it's the quickest way back to town. Although Reed is skeptical, he accepts the advice. The couple soon departs, unaware that the road they chose will not lead them to safety, but to something much more sinister. And as they drive away, the woman watches them, smiling in a way that suggests she already knows the horrors that await them. Unaware of what lies ahead, they continue toward their destination. Along the way, they notice a shortcut and decide to take it. Reed is still visibly upset, his father's words echoing in his mind. Childhood memories resurface. His father, a hunter by nature, always wanted Reed to follow in his footsteps. When Reed was just 9 years old, his father killed a deer right in front of him and ordered him to skin it. That moment left a mark on him, and he vowed never to become that kind of man. He couldn't bear the thought of his own children looking at him with the same fear and disgust. As they drive, a sudden jolt interrupts his thoughts. An old, rusty car bumper is abandoned in the middle of the road. Its condition suggests it has been there for years. Olivia warns Reed. This is the second time he has almost collided today. She urges him to drive more carefully, clearly disturbed by his distracted behavior. Reed, unaware of what's happening to him, gets out of the car to move the bumper aside. As soon as they start driving again, a terrifying change begins. Blood seems to drip onto the windshield, spreading slowly until the entire screen is soaked in red. A demonic whisper echoes near Reed's ear, calling his name. Suddenly, he snaps back to reality. Olivia is next to him, asking if he is okay. He thinks he must be exhausted from driving for so long. But when he says hours have passed, Olivia tells him it's only been 5 minutes. Confused, Reed dismisses it, assuming it's just his tired mind playing tricks. But this is only the beginning. As they delve deeper into the woods, Reed sees an old man standing alone by the road. Despite Olivia's warnings that the man may be dangerous, Reed stops the car. He asks the stranger if he needs help, but the old man, alarmed at seeing them, starts screaming. "Go back while there's still time." Terrified, they flee. Tension mounts between them. Olivia accuses Reed of being reckless, nearly causing accidents, stopping for strangers in the middle of nowhere. She wonders aloud if he is punishing himself for something that happened 3 years ago. Reed tries to calm her, saying it was all just a mistake. Although Olivia falls silent, both remain oblivious to the true horror that still awaits them. Later, they stop so Olivia can pee. She enters the woods while Reed waits in the car. Suddenly, a pine cone is thrown near him. He sees a shadow moving away quickly and feels a familiar presence coming from the car. As he approaches to check, he ends up hurting his arm on the door. Panic sets in, and, deep in the forest, Olivia, after tripping and falling, feels the presence of something around her. She runs back in terror, telling Reed they need to leave immediately. As they drive away, Olivia mentions the 2 strange people who asked for directions earlier, the ones who spoke to them about the shortcut. But Reed doesn't remember encountering anyone like that. Confused, he questions her, but Olivia insists that it happened. She urges him to rest, thinking he's just very tired. Reed eventually falls asleep. When he wakes up, they are still driving. Frustrated, he asks why they haven't arrived yet. Reed is looking forward when, as he shifts his gaze to the side, he sees Olivia with a grotesque expression, saying, "We're never going to get back home." He screams in terror, and then wakes up startled. Olivia is next to him, acting as if nothing happened. No mention of the shadow, no panic, no trace of the horrors they witnessed. Reed begins to feel that something is wrong. Despite having left the engagement party hours ago, they are still stuck on the same shortcut, and the car is almost out of gas. Olivia, on the other hand, seems unaware of how much time has passed. She can't remember when they started driving or anything that had happened since then. Confused and increasingly anxious, she suddenly sees a shadow on the road. Fear takes over, and the car stops. They get out to breathe some fresh air, only to discover the daylight has vanished. The morning sky has turned to night in an instant. Reed is perplexed, unable to explain how time has passed. And then the strangest thing happened. They found themselves back in the same spot with the broken bumper, but now the twist deepened. Next to it was a car that looked exactly like theirs, and hanging from a tree near the car was a lifeless body covered in blood. Terror hit them. As they tried to escape, a dark, ghostly figure emerged from the forest. The gas tank of the car was empty, and even if they tried to reverse, the vehicle wouldn't move. They hit the figure, but it wouldn't die because it wasn't human. Just when death seemed certain, another car appeared in the distance, its horn drawing the figure's attention. The couple used the distraction to flee into the woods. Trembling and desperate, Olivia broke down. She begged to go home and confess past betrayals, desperate for forgiveness and a second chance. Reed tried to remain hopeful, assuring her they would survive this. As they hid, the dark figure searched for them, but eventually disappeared into the trees. They decided to run and managed to reach the highway. But the nightmare continued. No matter where they went, they always ended up back in the same spot where the bumper was. Their memories became unreliable. Sometimes they would argue, other times laugh, but nothing made sense. Time and place lost all meaning. It was as if something was playing with their minds. Eventually, Olivia stormed out angrily, but before Reed could process it, the dark figure returned. This time, it left them unconscious. When Reed woke up, they were both tied up. In front of them, the figure was devouring the body that was hanging from the tree. Olivia cried, realizing the creature would come after them next. She admitted more than just an old betrayal. She was still involved with someone else. Reed, broken and confused, couldn't understand why she kept hurting him. He then asks if the baby is really his, and Olivia assures him it is. Before he could fully react, the hooded figure spoke, exposing Olivia's secrets and revealing that it knew everything about her. The figure calls her a traitor and tries to kill her. But just before it could attack Olivia, something unexpected happened. The stranger who had advised them to return to the road earlier appeared again. He struck the creature, knocking it out, then quickly untied Olivia and Reed, telling them to leave immediately, warning that the figure wouldn't stay down for long. As they fled, Reed found the man strangely familiar, though he couldn't place him. They asked what was happening and where they were. The man revealed a disturbing truth. This was not an ordinary road. It was a strange dimension, a multiverse. This road connected countless realities. Anyone trapped here would keep driving forever without escape. The man stated that he had been trapped there for a long time, unable to get out. He explained that every version of them existed here, their past, present, and future. They could find all of them. But the most frightening part, this road erased their memories repeatedly. No matter how many times they tried to understand what was happening, they would forget everything. However, the man said that something had changed. Olivia and Reed had done something that no one had ever done before, something unique. They had inadvertently created a glitch in the system, possibly even found a way out. Before they could get answers, the road began to affect the man as well. He forgot who Reed and Olivia were, then turned aggressive, accusing them of trying to kill him. In a panic, they ran again through the endless forest. Reed was furious with Olivia, still haunted by her betrayal. But despite everything, he couldn't leave her behind. He was determined to get her out of this nightmare. Then an idea struck him. If what the man said was true, then their past selves would also arrive at the broken bumper soon, the same point where they had stopped for a bathroom break. This meant they had a chance. If they could intercept their past selves and steal the gas from their car, they could refuel and find their way home. But what exactly had they done that activated the escape route? Suddenly, they remembered the moment when the demonic figure first appeared, when they had put the car in reverse. Now their plan was clear. They waited in the woods. Just as the man had said, their past selves, Reed and Olivia, arrived and stopped just like the first time. Reed told Olivia to stay hidden. He knew what was about to happen. Taking a pine cone, he threw it toward his past self to distract him. This version of Reed noticed the pine cone just as it had happened before. The loop was now complete. Then present Reed ran toward the car, grabbed the hidden gas, and fled. In the distance, past Reed saw a shadow moving through the forest. The same shadow he had seen at the beginning. Now everything made sense. The shadow wasn't a ghost. It was him. They were trapped in a loop of their own actions. Piece by piece, everything fell into place. Reed and Olivia now found the car, and with the gas finally in hand, they had one last chance to escape this cursed dimension. They both got into the car, preparing to reverse their way out of that cursed place. Before going back, Reed silently forgave Olivia for everything and decided to start anew with her. Olivia felt relieved, but Reed was seriously injured. As she turned to the back seat to grab a bandage, she noticed something chilling. A jacket and a knife identical to those of the mysterious killer. At that moment, Olivia realized a terrifying truth. The dark figure wasn't someone else. It was Reed's future. Fear consumed her. She grabbed the knife and forced Reed out of the car, convinced he would try to kill her too. Reed, although confused and injured, exited without resistance. The shadow, likely future Reed, then appeared and approached him. With no other choice, Reed ran. Olivia, alone in the car, began to experience disturbing illusions. The hallucinations intensified, and then the shadow attacked. When the mask fell, Olivia stood stunned to see her own face. It wasn't Reed who killed someone. She had been the killer all along. As the dark version of Olivia drew near to finish her off, Reed suddenly returned and killed her just in time. Olivia was severely injured. For a moment it seemed the nightmare was finally over, but another malevolent version of Reed remained. If there was a future Olivia, then he arrived soon after, more sinister than ever. Before he could attack, Reed managed to kill him too. He helped Olivia back to the car and began to reverse. As the vehicle moved backward, the cursed road seemed to unravel. A mysterious light appeared at the end of the path, and as they crossed it, the dimension began to disintegrate. They were finally back, exactly where it all began, the shortcut road. Reed smiled, thinking they had escaped alive, but then turned to Olivia and realized she was no longer breathing. Shattered and lost, Reed calls for his father, who tries to reassure him that over time, he will forget everything. This is when Reed remembers. He cannot forget. Not until he returns to that road. Carrying the memory of Olivia is too painful. He leaves her behind and picks up the same piece of wood he had seen in the hands of that strange man. Because now Reed has become that man, haunted, broken, and alone. As he walked back to the cursed road, oblivious to the truth, Olivia slowly regained consciousness. She was alive and pregnant. Meanwhile, Reed arrives again at the cursed road. Slowly, his memories begin to fade. But just then, a little girl calls to him. She is holding a photo of Reed and Olivia. Her eyes look just like his. It is when Reed realizes that Olivia survived. She returned to find him and gave birth to their daughter. And so, the story ends.